Right, hello gentlemen, how are we doing? So it's the 48-hour analysis for December 10, and well, here we are. And surprise, surprise, the Pizzeria Furnace is the one that's doing the best in terms of sales so far. Wasn't expecting that, but hey, everybody likes pizza, so you can't go wrong there. So, yeah, wasn't expecting that. But will it hold? That's the one worry I'm having at the moment. So we'll look over here, just get a good look at it in game and whatnot in terms of the pictures that we have. So I did see this quite some time ago, and apparently the pictures, there you go, now they're working. So looks very nice, looks very good. Jimmick, you did a very good job. And clearly people really do want it if they're buying it so much in just 2 days. Over 10,000 sales already. But we also have to be wary of how furnaces have performed so far this year. So it hasn't been the best, and I did bring that up back on Thursday when we had the Rustle rotation. So yep, lights up very nicely, you see pizza all around it. It's perfect for what it is. It's a great, it's literally a pizza oven. So basically now we have to point out all the things to be cautious about. Number one, it's not abnormal. So we don't have the opportunity to buy order it earlier and then see how it is and then consider actually buying it on the Thursday. All we can really do is just take a look at the sales. But for now, let's also take a look at all the most recent furnaces that have come out this year, see how they're performing at the moment. And what do we see? We have zombie furnaces in the positive. Everything else is awkward. It goes, yeah, so it's negative for everything until you go back to Snowman Furnace that came out last Christmas, last year. So, yeah, it's not been the best, has it? And the reason why that's doing so well, I just knew, looking at it, it's just super unique, super interesting, very cool. Only 43 on the market as well, so that for a long time was below its Rustle price as well, but as we're getting through out of the bad times and into the good times, this is the leader for, well, clearly going back up in price. Now that had 33,000 sales, almost 34,000 we should say, but that was very cool looking. Loads of people really liked it. It went through the bad times, it did suffer, but after that it then got out of it and is now in the positive. So, could we see something very similar happening to this? And, well, I think so. That's the problem. You can only think, you can only assume. Pizzeria Furnace, it's a great idea, and we have had some pizza-themed skins before. I believe the pizza-themed small box, for example. That's been gradually going up and up and up and up and up in price recently. In fact, if we were to quickly go and see, oh my, it's selling for how much? Well, that worked out well, didn't it? So it looks like everybody's comboing. Yep, you can see that right there. With the appearance of the furnace, this has jumped up in price. Now, I don't think this was made by the same person. It's not, no, that was made by Mishka. So just a similar theme. It's not related to this in terms of, is it part of the same collection? No. But people like their pizza. And I think, I actually think this could do quite well. We can only really buy order it obviously when the Rustle rotates next week, when we have the first batch of Christmas skins. Yeah, we can only buy order it then. So honestly, just wait until Thursday. Look how many have sold. If we got over 20,000, well, you can buy them Thursday, see how many appear in the Steam market after 2 days, make a consideration. If you feel far too many are appearing and you worry that there's going to be far too many being put onto the Steam market after it's been 7 days or 2 weeks or whatever, then yeah, just refund the purchase you made. Or just stick with it. At the moment, I'm led to believe it's in demand, people like it, people find it funny, it will be a go-to furnace. Much like the Scary Furnace, it will likely potentially go down in price for some bad times, but when it's good times again, it'll go back up in price. So yeah, that is probably the best thing I could reference to. Zombie Furnace, sorry. Well, it's a Scary Furnace. Right, so we got that covered. Now let's move on to this. Frog Cosplay hoodie. Right. So on Thursday, I mistakenly sat here and said, oh great, we've got green skins, haha. We've been waiting for such a long time for a budget version of Forest Raiders, and well, oh dear, clearly, look at it, it's far too bright, and in-game, far too bright. It stands out far too much. With just a little bit of light, you stand out far too much. So, with this Frog cosplay, it's, well, first of all, it's clothing, it's a core piece, and if we do see more core pieces appearing and then of course being accepted, regardless, it will still go back up in price. So yes, it's there, it's nice, but it's not going to be helpful green camouflage. Not as good as you think it could potentially be. So you stand out in most grassy areas and trees and shrubbery, you're going to stand out with that bright green colour. We've checked, we've seen it. So yeah, but it's a cool design. It looks nice. Role players, do you want to dress up as a frog and just go rip it at everybody? There you go. So yeah, in safe areas in Rust, when you can just sit down and talk with people and whatnot, I think a lot of people will be dressing up as frogs and whatnot. It's a cool design. Milio did a good job here. Good job, Mr. Milio. So we have just under 12,000 sales each for each piece at the moment. That's okay. It's not crazy. That's fairly tame. I reckon we will end up with around 20,000 sales for these two. Honestly, I think we will see this surpass this. I think that is going to happen. We'll see. But with these two, I know for a fact, regardless, if we do see some more frog cosplay tier 2 or tier 3 at some point in the next 3 or 4 weeks, then yeah, and if it's accepted, yeah, reactionary nature of the Rust economy, these will go up in price. But there is one problem that you have to be aware of. The next 2 Rustal rotations will only be Christmas skins, okay? Please keep that in mind. So some people who have invested into these will most likely get impatient. Now, God, take a look at this. Remember the last clothing that we had? Hoodie and pants? Apostate hoodie and pants, yep. So these were higher up in price for a while. They are starting to go down because people are starting to lose faith. They don't think we're going to have... we're not going to see tier 2 or tier 3 being accepted anymore. So you can see how it had a lot of hype. We saw tier 3 appear in the workshop, people bought in, but gradually ever since then it's just been going down and down and down and down. It's unfortunate. Face Punch just doesn't want to expand on collections. Ever since we finally completed Black Gold, they just haven't pursued they've just avoided continuing collections in terms of the core pieces. So Apostate was in a great position to do it, but they never bothered to continue. No tier 2, no tier 3, and that's what leaves me worried for this. And of course the Elite Crate. So we'll talk about the Elite Crate now. Elite Crate is perfect in terms of it does blend in very nicely in the grass areas, in the shrubbery. Dark green stands out very nicely. The orange straps doesn't make much of a difference, honestly. You hardly notice it. So this is the one I'm actually keeping a very good eye on. And yes, positive, it's abnormal. We can do our buy-orders in it, and then we can consider purchasing it on Thursday just by looking at the support. Gentlemen, I talked about it a lot, but get a good look at this, right? It started off with the tier 3, alright? That collection started off with the tier 3. What did Forest Raiders do? The exact same situation. Started off with the tier 3, and then we got the hoodie and the pants, and then we got the tier 2. So, yeah, if you want to see how things play out, just get a good look at this. And, you know, when this appeared in the workshop, when did this appear in the workshop? The 2nd of August, right? Let's go take a look at the likes of the face mask. So 2nd of August 2021. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh no. Okay, so here's a problem. There is a problem. Wait, no, 9th. Yep, so you do see a lot of sales happening. It was going up and up and up. People were anticipating the arrival of the clothing. And of course, on August 12th, hoodie and pants were accepted. Goes up in price. Very nice. And then it goes up again. And yeah, things are very good. So, right, now we have to consider what's going to be happening with this. Because at the moment, lots of people are focusing the hoodie and the pants. That's potentially a positive. We've only just got, we've got just under 9,000 sales each here. That's okay. It's not selling ridiculous amounts. And if we do see Elite Crate after Christmas, yeah, exact same scenario. Loads of people are going to be jumping in. And as I said, this is actually looking to be the actual budget Forest Raiders. And I'm sorry if that hurts you inside if I said that and whatnot, but Forest Raiders is like the very best, the maximum of blending well in the green areas and whatnot. Of course, if you're running and whatnot, people will spot you. But if you're going to kind of hide and try and not be noticed, it's hard to see. And Elite Crate, we'll see what comes out of that. If Mr. Odyssey, let's just make sure, yep, if Mr. Odyssey doesn't add so much orange, if he's very, like, minimal with it, only adds it on the trimmings and whatnot, I think we've got our budget Forest Raiders. And this tier 3 isn't selling as much as Forest Raiders as well. So if we do see more Elite Crate tier 2 or hoodie and pants after Christmas and it gets accepted, I wouldn't be surprised if both of these jump up in price. But again, investor impatience. Will it work out well? Will it be alright for the next 2 weeks? Will people be fine with that? And it's that thing where I'm looking at this thinking, oh dear, oh no. You've got to think like that. You've got to be wary of other people. Other people are kind of dumb. Alright? They're not as informed as we are in terms of all of this. And yeah, so it's looking good at the moment. Let's get our buy orders down, and then, of course, when we do our abnormal buy orders, we will then sit there and say, right, what are we going to do now? Are we going to consider actually buying some tomorrow? Yeah, you get that's when we're doing the buy orders on Wednesday. So let's just leave it for now. Let's take a look at it, obviously, on Wednesday. We'll make considerations. That's that. So we don't need to rush with that. Let's wait, take our time, and see what happens. But with the likes of the hoodie and the pants, yeah, you're just gonna leave it till Wednesday or Thursday, then make a decision. How many have sold? Right, is it a good idea to jump in and buy some? Because remember, let's not forget, Rust player count, it will be rising. Rust player count. Rust player count. So we've seen this before. Usually, just after December, so let's go 2019. Right, December. 2018 to 2019, 70,000, January 85,000. We will expect much bigger numbers. So 2019 to 2020, 81,000 here, 97,000 in January. So we will, on average, expect maybe like a 20% bump in player count increase. So with more people playing, more people wanting skins, they're probably going to see this or this and they're going to think, wow, that looks cool, and they'll probably buy it. You know, that's the same thoughts I had in regards to the Bandana that we had last week. And we'll take a look at last week's skins in a bit, but let's continue. We now have the Pixel Bandana. Right, so it's a cool looking bandana. I thought it looked really good how the river goes all along the crease and whatnot, so that's nice. But yeah, Pixel collection. It does potentially look like we will be getting some more being accepted potentially in the future. Diva Dan, all his commitments with TF2 seems to be wrapped up. TF2 doesn't have spring stuff. So, yeah, I don't assume he'll be doing any more Team Fortress 2 stuff for a while. So that means he's probably going to come back and focus Rust. And now that he's likely seen this bandana being accepted, I think we're in a good position to potentially see some Tier 2 or Tier 3 appearing just after Christmas. And, yeah, so hopefully that motivates him to continue. Clearly, Face Punch wants Pixel, because they obviously accepted this. So we seem to be in a pretty good position. Now, of course, as I mentioned previously, bandanas, we don't see that many of them. We only get like 2 or 3 a year. This is the 3rd one. Will we potentially see one for Christmas? I haven't seen one in the Christmas submissions just yet. So this is routine. This is looking all right. And on average, pretty much every bandana that is part of a collection does go up in price. This one, this one, this one, this one, all good. So let's see if that continues. Then we've got the Wild Animals door. So this had a bit of a problem. A lot of people had issues in regards to the image quality. You can read all the comments here. Some people just couldn't see through the mesh. It wasn't working. Apparently, the skin creators have made changes and you can see it. And on potato settings, zero graphics, you could just see through that. You could just see through it. So there's nothing there. There's no mesh. It's just see-through. So, but then there's also the problem of, right, it's also a wood door. So let's start making some considerations. Like, are we potentially going to be seeing more transparent doors in the future? Face Punchers be getting more and more lenient with their rules. Like, we saw plenty of people making transparent doors in the past, submitting them to the workshop and whatnot, but they just weren't accepted, and we assumed that was a rule. But Here you go, Mr. Mishka's gone and done it. He did release, at the same time, a non-transparent one and a transparent one. They picked the transparent one, so they picked that themselves. So, potentially, we might see more of these in the future. Could we? There's no guarantee. Are you going to really rely on potential? Now, will word get around and loads of people sit there and say, right, if you're going to have a wooden door skin, you've got to have that one? Maybe. Maybe. But it is helpful, but of course... what good is having a see-through wooden door when people can just shoot it down and then they could just walk through it, so or burn it down? Yeah, it's nice to have, but is it something you really want to rely on? But then again, as I said, if you're going to have at least one wooden door skin, maybe it's going to be that one. And the theme of it, there has been quite a few rumours that we might be seeing pets being added to Rust soon. It's been going on for about a year now. Rumblings, rumours, you name it. I think that might be leaning onto something potentially. And then, oh no, what have I done here? Didn't mean to look at you. Hunter and dog. Wow, that was a strange coincidence. Right, so yeah, when you get a good look at all of the previous wooden door skins we've had this year in the red, yeah, even the Molten Visage wooden door, glow in the dark, very cool, part of a collection, $2 when it was sold for $3. So yeah, even the really good ones still suffer. So I am cautious, but it's abnormal. We don't need to rush into it. We can do our buy orders, and yeah, you get the idea. So no need to rush into that. Let's move on to the Recycler Thompson. Gentlemen, this right here is looking like it's going to be the perfect thing to go for. Right, so perhaps not everybody likes the colour scheme and whatnot. Alright, fair play, you know, that's fine. But even the worst Thompsons still usually are in a positive. Now, you immediately might be sitting there saying, but what about these two? Well, these two are anomalies. I keep talking too quickly. These two are anomalies. They came out during offline TV era, early 2021, when tons of people were playing, and we had a stupid amount of purchases and whatnot. So I don't really count these two, because these are incredibly oversaturated. It's just not really anything I'd like really compare with. But even then, being so super oversaturated, these two, they still do quite alright in terms of their value and whatnot. But yeah, I just wouldn't consider them. The only real negative one I'd consider would be this Weather Thompson. And even then, still selling for $2.33. In fact, what are the cheapest ones? Oh, it's that one right there. Is that comforting for you? The cheapest Thompson available to us is literally the Recycler Thompson. So it's not selling that much. It looks like it's going to be in a decent position where it's very likely going to be comfortably rising up in price. Now, let's also take into consideration, Recycler's actually doing a very good job so far. It's had the SAR, it's had the pump shotgun, it's had the Thompson. We're very likely potentially going to see even more Recycler stuff being accepted. What might we see? Maybe a Recycler table, Mr. Kelmer Legend. Haha. I don't know, maybe we'll eventually see an AK, maybe revolver, Python. Yeah, just think of it. Think of the many things that could potentially work well with the idea. But yeah, I think we're in a position where we're very likely going to be seeing more Recycler skins, and of course more being added to collection only makes the pre-existing ones technically more valuable if everybody wants to chase after it. Maybe we'll see some Recycler clothing and armour in 2023. Best of luck to you, Mr. Kelmer Legend. But yeah, that's looking to be the one thing I'm super confident and comfortable with. It's not selling too much, which is perfect. If it's not selling too much, that gives me all the more reason to assume that there aren't a whole bunch of people buying these in excess that much. So maybe I'll buy a batch myself and just hold on to it, you know, treat it like a bond or something. Right, Blackboard LR300. So we had this dilemma last week. We had a very cool looking LR300 in front of us, made by Mr. Sloanostar. This week we got one made by Kua. That is a bit awkward that we literally just had one week after the other. But got to think. Sorry, I'm looking to the side. Basically, yeah, I don't think it's going to be doing very well. We did not see that much of a change in terms of people using the LR300s after the update. Maybe we will see a clearer difference when we start seeing a whole bunch more people playing during the Christmas break and after Christmas. But yeah, you look at all of the most recent skins and yeah, we've got problems, haven't we? Redemption LR still holding up at the moment, but not everybody who has had the opportunity to be able to sell them yeah, we haven't got to that point just yet. But let's just go take a real quick look at this. 13 on the market at the moment. Gentlemen, I would say at least wait another week and then really go for it, because as you can see, the bulk of the buy orders only went up to $1. You got another 10 here at around $2.27, so that's cool. But you know, we got some 6s here as well. Maybe people really do want this. Maybe I might need to put down an extra buy order. We'll see. So yeah, that I'm talking about that. Sorry. So with this Blackboard LR300, perhaps we'll see some more skins being made by Mr. Kua. Best of luck to you, good sir. Yeah, it's just the problem is the weapon itself. Gun demand is the issue, not the skin. So, and then we've also got Predatory AR, which is the exact same situation. We have far too many AK-47 skins, gentlemen. We've had 4 in a row for the past 4 roster rotations. So it's a common theme. I have to sit here and say it all the time. Yeah, red. I say this all the time. Predatory collection itself isn't exactly changing the world either. Red. So it's awkward. It is awkward. Yeah, I wouldn't invest into it. Right, sorry. I'm totally not watching England whilst this is going on. Right, so, honestly, the main things I'm very enthusiastic are the Thompson and the Elite Crate face mask and chest plate. I am somewhat motivated by these, but then again, I'm also cautious. I know how the behaviour normally is in regards to how people are when they don't see new skins being accepted for such a long time. And, yeah. So maybe people might cool off after these for about 2 weeks, but maybe, just maybe, you know, when we go back to seeing the regular skins appearing on the workshop in the submissions, maybe we will see some more tier 2 and tier 3. But then there's also the added point. Milio also makes tempered skins. Milio might want to go back and make some more tempered deployables, for example. Makes sense, doesn't it? You know, it's been selling greatly. He must have been making some great money. So, yeah, this is going to compete with this, and we might potentially see some problems, because usually you would expect the skin creator cannot have 2 skins during the same week. We have seen instances of that happening before, but it's rare to see. So there's also that. With the likes of Mr. Odyssey over here, he's only making Elite Crate at the moment. He stopped making Neo Soul after a while. But yeah, Elite Crate seems to be the only thing he's carrying at the moment. And yep, surprise, surprise, this is starting to go back up in price because we saw this. In fact, let's go take a look. Yep. Here we go. Yeah, so that's starting to go up in price just because we saw the armour being introduced. So congratulations to you, Mr. Odyssey. Best of luck to you. Let's see if you potentially make some clothing or tier 2 at some point in the near future. Best of luck to everybody else here as well. Best of luck to everybody making skins for Christmas. Let's first just quickly take a look and see all the skins from the previous week. Python instantly in the positive. This I am surprised about. It's a very cool looking skin. I think Slanosta, I think you did such a good job. People just really want it. So good job there, buddy. This is starting to go down in price. How very unfortunate. Banana is actually doing immediately alright. So I'm happy about that. That's doing good. Again, you've got to wait at least a week to really get a good idea of if the demand is there or not. My buy order there of $1.40 still remains. That's good to see. So yeah, it's mostly looking good here, but you can't really judge it at least for another week. Then you can, and yeah, when everybody has the availability or had the opportunity to be able to sell them, then you get a good idea. And I've said this far too many times, so things are looking fairly positive. Why not take a real quick look and see what it was like on the 24th? So there you go, these two. This is the perfect example of when people gradually get impatient. We're not going to see any Tiki collection being introduced to the workshop, or submitted, I should say submitted, until January. So yeah, people are starting to sell them below the rush door price, and it's just gradually going down and down and down and down. And now we know we're not going to be seeing any of these for about 2 more ruster rotations. So such is life. Right then, now we move over to, what bit was I going to go to? This bit over here, I believe. Oh, still buying skins, as you can see. Yes, so last year, we did have a Christmas competition, a contest for, you know, all the skins. So this was set up by TGG. But apparently this year we're not having one. We're just going to have 2 batches of Christmas skins. Okay, I guess, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is what we did see last year. We did see a competition much like the Halloween contest we had earlier this year. But it looks like we're just going to have to keep an eye out for the skins ourselves, and we're just going to have to see what potentially will be coming out. So everything that's getting submitted so far this week very likely will be up for candidacy to be selected either for next week or the week after that. And gentlemen, we are seeing some skin continuations. Look, we've got Yeti. We've got Gingerbread hoodie and pants. That will complete the Gingerbread collection. Oh, it's made by Milio as well. Yeah, Milio made that. Of course, we know that. We talked about that, didn't we? So yeah, there's a lot of potential interesting things on the horizon. What are you looking forward to? What do you desperately need that's Christmas themed, but you need it on a certain item? Or is there an item that hasn't had a skin in such a long time that you really want to see potentially getting a skin? I really like this furnace. I will give it a shout out. This Northern Lights furnace does look very cool. I think he did a very cool job there. So when it's night time, it glows green. That looks nice. So yeah, gentlemen, best of luck to all of you. If you're investing into these skins, again, remember, be a bit cautious for how it's going to be for the next 2 weeks, and start voting for the Christmas skins that you like seeing. You know, go in the workshop, see for yourselves, and vote for what you like. It's as simple as that. And yeah, that's it. So thank you all, and best of luck.